Thanks again for checking out the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel. Head on over to codingfanatic.com and join our mailing list for weekly updates on Android tutorials, career advice, and more. So once again, head on over to codingfanatic.com and thanks for your support. Welcome back. This video, I'm going to give a quick overview on a wall that I hit with my Salesman travel application. So I tried using objects to pull off some wicked stunts, and it didn't go as expected. In fact, it didn't go at all. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too happy about it. So here you can see I have my list of addresses right here. So for the uninitiated, the application, the purpose is to show a list of addresses which you can sift through using zip codes. So if you type in like here, like it says Boston, Mass. 02134, then it should filter the list and only show you addresses that either match that zip code or it'll say no results. However, I figured that instead of using strings to sift through this list, I should use objects. Now, let me tell you how I got here. So as you can see here in my code, I've created a separate class called homes.java, and this is going to store the addresses. This is what I'm using to create homes objects, and each home has an address, a street number, street name, zip code. You get the idea. Okay, so here I instantiate 3 objects, and I had this bright idea that instead of using an array adapter that contains string literals or strings, I could use the homes objects themselves. And the reason why I decided on this was because if you use an object in your list adapter, which I did here, if you use objects, it's going to invoke the toString method, the object.toString method. Now the toString method of the object class only uses it returns a string literal that kind of describes the object in a way. It's not pretty. It doesn't have much meaning. It's like more computer talk. But if you want to tweak that, then you can override the toString method in your class and style the string however you like. And that's exactly what I did here in homes.java. So here I have a method called public string toString, and it returns the street number, street name, and zip code, which is how I was able to format the addresses here. So now when I add these homes objects to the display adapter, the list view will invoke the toString method of the homes class instead. So instead of having a weird random string literal, it'll display the addresses as I wanted it to. Now here's the bonus. Here's the added bonus. I figure that by using an array adapter containing all homes objects, well, then wow, it'd be very easy for me to write a method in the homes class that can say check a zip code and see if it matches that of a homes object. So the idea was I would have inside of the here inside of the on editor action listener for the edit text field, what I would do is take the text that is input and then compare that with the zip code of the objects in the display adapter, and if it matches any of them, then it would keep those homes in the display adapter and then set the adapter again so they would or update the list view with the new version of the array adapter, which would then display the matching homes objects. Makes sense. However, that did not work for me because apparently when I tried to invoke the get zip code method, it said that it couldn't find the symbol. So, and this only happens when I try to invoke it upon an object that I'm getting from the array adapter. So here you can see I have an object and I'm assigning it the value of one of the the one of the items in the original array adapter, and I tried to use I tried to assign the reference to that object to a new homes object. And I said, all right, so homes true object equals object, but I cast it as a homes object because you don't cast it, then it's going to give you an error saying that it can't resolve it because this is an object, not a homes object, and you can't assign references across different objects. So here's our true object. Great. And when I invoke the get zip code method, it says it cannot resolve method because apparently this is still being treated as an object, capital O, not a homes object. So what this means is there's no way for me to invoke these methods or write my own methods in the homes class that can interact with the objects being stored in the array adapter. And I gotta tell you, that's it's a little frustrating because I sat here and I fought with this thing tooth and nail to get it to work, but unfortunately I couldn't get it. So this is how it goes in software development, right? You know, you work on something, you have an idea, you try it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but at least we're not going all the way back to the drawing board. So my next step from here will be to actually I have an even more ambitious approach now that I want to test out. So since I'm able to obtain these objects from the display adapter, if I can obtain that object and invoke the toString method to get the address, well shoot, then I could just create a new homes object and instantiate it using this exact same string literal. So what that means is instead of trying to invoke these homes, the methods from the homes class on each of the objects in the array adapter, I can create a new homes object and just grab the string that's used in that object and use that to instantiate a new homes object, and then that will allow me to do things the way I want to. So that's what I'm going to try out next. And if that doesn't work, well, hey, I guess we're switching back to string literals. So if I'm not able to get this new idea to work, then I'll just change the array adapter to use the strings and namely the addresses just as they are and find a workaround through that. You know, but it's pretty exciting. I feel like I'm very close to the end, but it's like the passages I'm trying aren't working, but one of them is going to work. I know it for sure. I'm going to get this. I'm going to finish it. It's going to be awesome because I'll have finished my very first Android app, but we can celebrate later. For the time being, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and checking out the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel. You can subscribe to my mailing list on my website and get weekly updates when I post new articles, videos on career advice, and Android tutorials and things of that nature and more. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on notifications, and you'll be updated whenever I post a new video. So, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. This is your host, Richard Clark, signing out, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.